The goal that screamed. Chapter 1, The Descent. The mountain was silent. Too silent for something that big. Clouds swirled around its peak like smoke from a dying fire. Orin stood beside me, eyes wide, breath steaming in the cold air. "This is the one," he whispered. I nodded, staring at the black entrance cut into the rock. The old mining shaft looked like a wound in the mountains. Sekin. Rusty rails led into darkness, half buried by dust and time. We had chased rumors for months. Ancient gold, a lost mining colony, and the story of men who vanished after digging too deep. I didn't care about legends. I care about gold. Orin, though, had always believed in curses. He carried a small silver cross around his neck and touched it every time we entered a new cave. The wind howled once, then stopped. We stepped inside. Instantly, the air changed, thick, stale, heavy with the scent of rust and rot. Our flashlights flickered across the walls, revealing jagged marks and faint carvings. Someone had been here before. Hundreds of pickaxe strikes scarred the rock. But the deeper we went, the stranger the marks became. Symbols, circles, triangles, eyes scratched into the walls with trembling hands. "What do you think that means?" Orin asked. "Probably miners losing their minds," I said. He didn't laugh. Neither did I. Our footsteps echoed, long and hollow. Water dripped somewhere ahead, steady as a heartbeat. The tunnel split in two. A gust of cold air came from the left, carrying the faint sound of whispering. We chose the left. The whispering grew louder. It wasn't wind. It was rhythmic, almost human. A chant. Orin gripped my arm. "You hear that?" I nodded slowly. "Probably just a cave." But even as I said it, I knew I was lying. Caves don't whisper names. We pressed on. The floor sloped downward, slick with mud and gold dust. My flashlight caught something ahead, a shimmer on. The walls. Veins of gold. Real gold. They pulsed faintly, glowing like embers under stone. I reached out and touched one. Warm. Orin stepped back. "That's not normal." "Maybe geothermal," I said. "Heat pockets under the rock." He shook his head. "It's alive." I laughed, but sounded weak. We followed the golden veins deeper. They branched and intertwined like roots of a tree. The hum began then, soft at first, like distant thunder. It vibrated through the floor, into our boots, into our bones. I tried to ignore it, but it kept time with my heartbeat. Every step, the hum grew stronger. Every breath, the air grew heavier. We turned a corner and stopped. The tunnel widened into a massive chamber. The ceiling was lost in shadow, and in the center, an old elevator shaft plunged into the earth. The control panel was rusted. The cables creaked softly, swaying in the dark. Someone had written words on the metal wall beside it. "Do not descend. The gold is awake." Orin's voice shook. "Let's go back. We came this far," I said. "There's more below." He hesitated, then sighed. "You'll get us killed, Oral." "Maybe, but rich." The elevator groaned as we stepped inside. It smelled like oil and ghosts. I pulled the lever. The chain screamed, and we began to descend. Darkness swallowed everything. Only the hum remained. "Louder now. Closer. Feels like we're being watched," Orin muttered. "We are," I said before I could stop myself. The air moved slow, deliberate, like something breathing below. The hum shifted, almost like laughter. The elevator stopped with a crash. We were deep, miles below daylight. The doors creaked open to reveal a tunnel lined with light. Not from our flashlights, from the gold itself. It ran through the rock like veins under skin. The light pulsed slowly, steady as a heartbeat. The hum was so loud now I could feel in my teeth. We stepped out. The floor was covered in tools, shovels, helmets, pickaxes, all corroded and half buried. "Someone worked down here," Orin said. "Someone died down here," I whispered. A tunnel opened ahead, wider and brighter than the rest. We followed it, stepping over old bones and rotted crates. The walls seemed to move in the light, gold flowing like liquid. It was mesmerizing. Then I saw something move. Not gold, a shadow. It darted across the tunnel, vanishing into the glow. I raised my flashlight. "Who's there?" Silence. Then a whisper. Soft. Female. Turn back. Orin froze. Did you hear that? Yes. My voice barely came out. The hum deepened, shaking dust from the ceiling. The gold veins flared bright white. The tunnel walls expanded, breathing. Orin shouted, "Run!" We ran. The floor split beneath us. I fell to my knees, my hands sinking into the gold. It was soft, liquid. Orin pulled me up, panting. The mountain's alive. The hum became a roar. Faces began to form. In the gold, eyes, mouths screaming silently. They pushed against the surface like drowning souls. I grabbed Orin's arm. The elevator. We sprinted back, stumbling through the collapsing tunnel. Rocks rained from above. The hum followed us like thunder. When we reached the elevator shaft, it was gone. Only a pit remained, glowing with molten gold. Orin cursed. We're trapped. I looked around. There has to be another way out. Then we heard footsteps. Not ours. Slow, heavy, metallic, echoing through the tunnel behind us. "Someone's coming," Orin whispered. I turned my light. A figure stood there, covered head to toe in gold dust, eyes burning like fire. It moved closer, dragging a pickaxe. "Stay back," I shouted. The figure stopped, head tilted. Then, in a voice like grinding stone, it said, "Gold remembers," and the floor collapsed beneath us. Chapter 2. The Awakening. I hit the ground hard. The air was forced from my lungs. For a moment, there was only darkness, and the sound, the endless hum of gold. I coughed, rolling onto my side. Golden dust rose around me like fog. The walls pulsed faintly, alive with veins of molten light. I wasn't dead. Not yet. "Orin," I shouted. My voice echoed, swallowed by the chamber. No answer, only the hum. I scrambled to my feet, scanning the shadows. My flashlight was cracked, but still working. Its beam flickered over twisted metal, collapsed beams, and bones. Old helmets stared back at me, skulls trapped in gold. The realization hit me like ice. The miners never left. They became part of the mountain. Something moved behind me. I spun around, heart hammering. Orin stumbled from the shadows, covered in gold dust, coughing. He was alive. "Are you okay?" I gasped. He nodded weakly. Barely. Then his eyes widened. Or a look. Behind him, the wall shimmered. Not just glowing, but flowing. The gold crawled like liquid, forming shapes. Hands. Faces. Hundreds of them. They weren't screaming, they were whispering. Their voices merged. With a hum, a low chant that filled the air. "Join us. Feed the gold." I grabbed Orin's arm. "We need to move. Now." We ran, stumbling through the chamber. The floor shifted under our boots, rippling like flesh. Each step left a print that glowed before fading. The tunnel ahead split in two again, left or right. I chose left, the one that smelled of earth and air. But as soon as we entered, the gold veins brightened behind us. Something was chasing us. The air shimmered, the light bending like heat. Orin looked back and screamed. A wall of gold was rising, folding it on, itself forming a massive figure. It stepped out of the wall, heavy and slow. A man-shaped thing of living gold, eyes hollow and blazing white. Every movement echoed like metal tearing apart, and every step made the floor melt. "Run!" I shouted. We sprinted through the narrow tunnel. The monster followed, its footsteps pounding like thunder. Chunks of glowing rock rained from the ceiling. The tunnel turned downward. The hum became a roar, vibrating through my skull. The ground shook violently, throwing us off balance. We slid down a slope, tumbling into another chamber. This one was different. The walls were smooth, carved intentionally. Symbols covered every surface, drawn in ash and blood. At the center stood a stone altar. On it lay a single chunk of gold, the size of a heart. It pulsed, glowing with each beat. I felt it calling to me, deep, instinctive, irresistible. Orin reached for it. "Don't!" I shouted, but it was too late. His fingers brushed the surface. Light exploded through the chamber. He screamed, not from pain, but ecstasy. The gold crawled up his arm, wrapping around his skin like veins. He turned toward me, eyes glowing bright. Oral, he whispered. It's beautiful. Then his voice changed, layered, deeper, ancient. The mountain remembers. I stepped back, let him go, but it wasn't Orin anymore. The gold had taken him. He smiled, radiant and terrible. Why run from what you came to find, he said. The golden veins on his body pulsed faster. The hum grew deafening. The whole mountain trembled. I backed against the wall. Orin, please. He reached out his hand. It's not death, Oral. It's belonging. The gold spread from his feet to the floor, fusing him to it. The chamber began to melt. I turned and ran. The tunnel behind me glowed white hot. The air turned to fire. The hum rose to a scream. Everywhere I looked, the gold moved, rivers of light pouring through cracks, chasing me. It hissed, alive, angry. I could hear Orin's voice inside the roar. Don't leave me. Tears stung my eyes as I climbed over fallen beams. The exit had to be close. I could feel fresh air now. Faint but real. The mountain wasn't going to let me go easily. The ground split open. Molten gold burst upward, forming hands that reached for me. I dodged, scraping my arms and legs. The heat was unbearable. I found an old mining ladder embedded in the wall. It led upward, toward the faintest light. Without thinking, I climbed. The rungs burned under my fingers. Below me, the gold surged upward. It wasn't just chasing, it was alive, thinking, hunting. Every pulse of the light came with a voice. Stay. Become. Remember. The ladder cracked. I jumped, grabbing a ledge and hauling myself up. My clothes were torn, my skin blistered, but I kept moving. A final push, and I was out. Cold air hit my face. I collapsed on the rocks, gasping, half-blind. The sunrise painted the mountains red and gold. Behind me, the mine roared, then fell silent. Dust rose from the collapsed entrance, glowing faintly in the light. The hum faded. The world was quiet again. I was alive. I turned, expecting to see Orin, but there was only the mountain, still, calm, eternal. A breeze passed, carrying the faint scent of metal. For a second, I thought I heard his voice. Keep it. I looked down. In my pocket was a small golden nugget, warm to the touch, pulsing faintly. I hadn't put it there. It throbbed once, then went still. I stared at it for a long time. Part of me wanted to throw it away, but I couldn't. I slipped it back into my pocket. As I stood, the sun broke fully over the ridge. Light spilled across the valley, making the world shimmer. The mountain behind me glowed faintly, not from the sun, but from within. It was still alive. I took one last look before turning away. The wind whispered through the trees. Somewhere deep inside the earth, the gold sighed, and I knew Orin was part of it now. I hiked down the slope, each step feeling heavier. The forest was waking, birds, insects, life returning. But inside me, the hum remained. Faint, gentle, eternal. When I reached the river, I washed the dust from my hands. The water shimmered with golden flecks. They drifted away, downstream, vanishing into sunlight. For the first time in days, I smiled. I survived, but the mountain would never forget. And maybe neither would I, because some treasures don't belong to us. They choose us. The gold had called me, and though I escaped its depths, I carried a piece of it now, forever beating deep beneath my skin.